Again, thank you all so much for joining us for our inaugural launch of The Magic of Marketing, Rechat's very first roundtable. This is a real life roadmap for success by agents for agents. Members just like you have submitted their incredible success stories to Rechat, and we could not wait to bring those stories to you. You'll hear from three of our members about how they really turned Rechat and their creativity into a success. To introduce you to Joe, I am going to pass the mic over to Miles.
Hello, everybody. Welcome and thank you so much for joining us today. And I have the pleasure of introducing one Mr. Joe Burns, a self-described non-tech guy. That said, he was able to use our video clips feature to move a $1.5 million listing right off the market. I'm super excited to show you what he did and why this tool is so useful.
And after Joe's story, you'll hear about how Maryam used open houses. And to talk a little bit more about that, I'm going to pass it right over to Patty.
Hi, all. I'm Patty. Thank you for joining us today. Allow me to introduce you to a game changer for real estate open houses. Let's learn how Maryam Gates of 8Z Realty simplified her open house workflow all the way to follow-up. She said goodbye to time-consuming prep work and no longer needed to juggle design ideas. So let's ramp up your open house game today.
And after we hear about Maryam's incredible story, we'll hear from myself about Melinda Moore, who was able to take her very first newsletter and turn that into a $4 million transaction. We'll hear some of her tips, tricks, and really what she did in order to make that happen. Go ahead. A poll is going to pop up on your screen. What are you most excited to hear about today? Are you more excited to hear about Joe's video clips, Maryam's open house success story, or Melinda's newsletters? I'll give you just a few moments to answer that. And then we'll go ahead and dive right in to all of this incredible content. And the poll that's on your screen right now is going to help us to bring you even more valuable content over the coming months and years. Special shout out to each and every one of you that answered those polls. I appreciate you so much. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into video clips. I'm going to pass it over to my incredible colleague, Miles, to tell you a little bit more about Joe.
Thanks so much. First and foremost, because I didn't do it before, my name is Miles Thornton, Customer Success Account Manager here at Rechat. Again, super excited to introduce myself and to those of you who haven't seen already, introduce you to video clips. But a little bit more on Mr. Joe Burns first and foremost. As I mentioned at the top of this, he is a self-described non-tech guy. That being said, I know some folks here might have some apprehension around video clips, getting in front of the camera here and there. I really want to put some of those fears to rest and show you how Joe uses clips and got in front of folks, didn't have to get on camera. And we're actually going to see exactly what he's done to get in front of a bunch of brokers and help move his listing. And we're going to see the clip on the next slide right here.
Happy Friday, my friends. This is Chef Joe. And today, if you stop by 973 Route 11 in Sunapee between 12 and 1:30, I'm going to be making you up some of the tastiest chicken salad you've ever had. And I'm going to put together an unbelievable side dish. And I'd love to see you today. In fact, if you come between 12 and 1:30 to 973 Route 11 in Sunapee, I'll give you my secret ingredient to the chicken salad. Hope to see you there.
Secret ingredient, what could that be? Now we're going to get into the meat of what Joe did with his specific video clip, but just let's wrap about video clips at large. So what we want to remember when we're looking at this particular tool in Rechat and what we want to recommend people do and what Joe's done to be is extremely successful. Just a couple things right off the bat is be creative with your marketing, with your video content. Now, people make videos out of anything today. I think we all know a content creator out there. Some of us might even consider ourselves one. And for those folks, we know that everything is content. So film what you see. Of course, not everything is going to be real estate related, chicken salad included, but that doesn't mean it can't be utilized in your business to get in front of more folks and strengthen your message. It's just another tool in your toolbox that you can use to get in front of folks. And it can be done all from the Rechat app, all from your phone. Now, being afraid of video. Anybody camera shy? I can say I have been in the past, but generally it's not too much an issue because I think, like a lot of folks here, I spend way too much time on camera and on my phone anyways. That said, being nervous around filming something is completely understandable. So I always like to say, just start with where you feel confident. I won't speak for Joe, but I'm guessing he's probably pretty confident in the kitchen. It looks like it's some of that video there. And so with that in mind, just go with what you know, start with what makes you happy. And then from there, I mean, we're all in a people business. We know that that's what helps people connect with us, and being genuine in what we're interested in and sharing that with people. That's when it's going to keep people engaged with our message. And, you know, we're just going to tie them back into the messaging that's going to help us make some money selling some homes. Am I right? So using video can be more than just chicken salad though, and more than just showing what you know as far as what you're confident in filming. It's also going to allow you to be knowledgeable and personable. Now, with any opportunity, with any marketing piece, you have the opportunity to market yourself, your team, your business, but showing on camera your knowledge, speaking to what you see in the market, what you see in a neighborhood, just shows that much more that you're interested in a certain area that your clients might be working in, and that your personality, you know, stands by with what you know. So just keeping that in mind whenever you get on camera, or more importantly, whenever you pull out your camera to film something. And last but not least, this is a great way to just add one more tool in your box to strengthen your message and engagement. As I mentioned, there's email, there is social media posts, but just one more thing to help you get in front of folks is going to be a great way to stay in touch with people. And I think you're going to enjoy using Rechat's tools to do that. It's this one in particular. So, chicken salad. I don't think any of us thought about that when we thought about selling a home, but what better way to get to somebody than through their stomach? This was an excellent way for Joe to show a genuine interest in something, and taking the story just a bit further, he shared this with a broker's open house. Now, Joe was the first to tell us that this is not a commonly used tactic in his market, and he heard as much. You know, from the video, we saw that, you know, life of a broker, you know, he used some stickers in there to kind of just give a little bit more information. That said, you know, that got people's attention not only because of the little things he did there, but just because he used something different and wasn't just sending another piece of marketing information someone might have seen before, but gave them that much more to kind of tie them in. Now, what Joe was able to do with this video was share it with his broker's open house, share it for a broker's open house, get feedback on that listing, and with that feedback, was able to sell this home, get a price improvement, and move it off the market very quickly. Now, you know, not every video you share is going to sell a property, but it might bring somebody into the fold, might tell somebody, oh, hey, there's this to take in mind, and just one more way to get people engaged with what you're doing. And, you know, speaking of engagement, that secret ingredient might have been the key. You know, it's hard to say what draws people in most, you know, when they're watching a short video like that one. But I really, really liked that secret ingredient piece he put in there. It's just one more reason why you should probably show up, why you should probably pay attention. And as we can see from the result, it did actually lend a hand.
Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, you don't have to be the star of the show in your video clips. Your listing doesn't even have to be the star of a show for your video clips. You can be creative. And Joe did an incredible job doing that. He stood out. His colleagues recognized how different that was in their local marketplace. And they even mentioned that to him. So I think it was fantastic. Miles, thank you so much for bringing that incredible success story to us. And now I'm kind of curious if you've ever thought about doing video clips. What has been your biggest hurdle in shooting, storing, and sharing those videos? Did you not think your content was interesting enough? Were you a little camera shy? Were you nervous about sharing your videos and weren't quite sure how to do that? Did you not know where you could store your videos afterwards? Maybe it's all of those. Maybe it's a couple of those. Maybe it's none of those and you've mastered something that nobody else has been able to. But I'm really excited to hear exactly what you have thought about video clips in the past. I'm seeing a lot of people saying that they're camera shy. You know, the incredible thing about what Joe did is he didn't show his face once. He could have been wearing his night clothes with an apron. We don't know. But at the end of the day, he still created some incredible content and used that content to get a listing sold. So at the end of the day, I want you to know that you don't have to worry about your content being interesting. You don't have to be camera shy. You don't have to be nervous about sharing your videos. And Rechat does make it pretty incredibly simple for you to store your videos in one central place. And those video clips will even allow you to drop them into email newsletters and property emails, which is really cool. Now, I'm going to go ahead and end this poll, and then we're going to talk about open houses. I'm going to pass it over to my colleague, Patty. She's going to introduce you to the incredible open house success story that we have for you today.
Hi again, all. My name is Patty Barretto. I'm the Senior Customer Success Manager here at Rechat. Let's take some time right now and let's listen to what Maryam has to say about how much time she saved and how she simplified her open house workflow.
I was so excited to see that Rechat had open house flyer templates. Prepping for my open house last weekend, I decided to try it out. I picked my template, searched the property address, and boom, done. It took maybe 1 minute. I had a beautiful professional flyer with all of the home info and my contact info ready to print. What a time saver, and almost no effort on my part. Next, I created a registration page. This also took very little effort and time. I searched the address, added in the date and time of the open house, and I was ready to go. After my open houses, I used to have to manually import the guest's info into my CRM from the Google Sheet document I had them sign in on. Now that step is completely eliminated from my process. I can easily send a follow-up email right from Rechat as soon as the open house has ended. I love that if they don't add a realtor when signing in, it automatically tags them as a lead. Rechat has really made my open house flow so much easier and quicker. Overall, I'm super pleased with Rechat so far and looking forward to watching my business flourish with it.
I'm so excited that Maryam was able to share that experience with us. So let's just review some of what she had done. She promoted her open house and invited people. We all know that promoting your open house and inviting your sphere is essential for maximizing attendance and generating interest in that property. Maryam easily utilized the open house flyer that was available in her marketing center, making it super easy to reach out to her sphere. This can include your past clients, current leads, and your colleagues. And don't forget to leverage that digital open house sign-in page. Using your digital open house sign-in page offers several benefits like data collection, lead generation, analytics, efficiency. It shows your professionalism, and the integration is great in streamlining your lead management and follow-up processes. And don't forget, this is always a really good tip. When you have people coming into your open house, sometimes obviously they'll come in with maybe an agent that they're already working with. Don't be shy in asking them to sign in, because now you will have that agent's information upload directly into your contacts. And now you've just added someone else that you can promote your listings to, or if you have a new buyer that you're working with and you don't see anything on the market, now you can reach out to that group of agents and say, hey, I'm looking for a property. Do you have something coming up? So it's always great to make sure to include the agents that are also coming in with those potential buyers. And don't forget to follow up that same day with the guests that have attended. And that's easy to do by using your buyer lead flow. That'll help nurture those leads into qualified buyers. Maryam found this to be so quick and efficient that it changed how she now prepares for her open houses. So don't forget to take a look at that open house digital sign-in sheet and the flyers. And now I think we're ready to take our next poll.
Yeah, I really love how Maryam said, like, she used to have to do everything manually, whether that was an actual piece of paper that she had at her open house, or if that was a digital Google sheet. that then she still had to take that data and drop into her CRM or her database. It really is important to know that time is money. And with the open house sign-in experience, from creating that flyer that she printed out, the open house invitation email, and the open house sign-in page, not only were those, possibly hours worth of work before, it took her minutes. And then after the open house, she didn't have to do any data entry. Everything was already done for her. And then you automate the communication afterwards. And so thinking about how you can take tools and resources that are at your disposal and ready to use and save yourself time and energy, that is saving you money. So like Patty mentioned, let's go ahead and launch our next poll. What part about Rechat are you, or how do you measure the success of your open house events, and how do you track that? Do you track your open house success by the number of guests that attended, the number of guests that answer your follow-ups, how quickly the property sells after your open house? Or are you like many and don't track anything, but maybe you should start? If you do answer that, I promise you're not alone. It is true that we don't really follow up sometimes. And as agents, we absolutely should. I love seeing that a lot of the people are saying that actually we're completely spread even right now. This is exciting. People are saying that they support all three. They measure their success all three of those ways. I love seeing that. Ultimately, I would say that I measure my open house success by the feedback that I receive, and to some extent, the number of guests that attended that open house. So I think that's super exciting. Thank you all so much for answering that. And now I'm going to bring you newsletters. Newsletters might sound a little stressful, but I promise that as we go through this, there might be a couple tips and tricks that you hear that you maybe didn't think about before. I'm going to be bringing you the newsletters portion of this session. I'm the lead customer success trainer here at Rechat, but I'm also an agent, and I do know what you're trying to do every single day. You're trying to make more money, save yourself time, and build relationships. So Melinda with Normand and Associates just got started in real estate last year. I think she got licensed in early 2023. And the typical reaction to the word newsletter is, oh, that's a lot of work. If you agree with that, you're probably laughing. Many of you don't have your cameras on. That's okay. Now, the incredible thing with Melinda is that this was her first newsletter she ever did, and she was able to capture a $4 million deal from a newsletter, from her very first newsletter. So let's hear some of the tips and tricks that Melinda uses to keep her newsletters fresh and to convert those newsletters over to happy, satisfied clients and paychecks. I think that's a really important piece to remember. 4 things that Melinda consistently includes in her newsletters are industry highlights and market insights. Always remember that data is everywhere you turn, whether that's from your MLS, your association, from National Association of Realtors, or even Realtor.com. Data's everywhere. Lean on that data, use that data, and understand how it impacts your people that are receiving that email. It impacts every single one of us, whether it be the amount of equity that we have in our home, or the buyers that are looking to purchase, and what interest rates are doing. You can always speak to some level of financial piece of a transaction that people are going to want to hear about. And maybe it's an article or a tidbit that they didn't know, right? So use that data that is around you, and you can regurgitate it and put your own personal touch on that. Something else that Melinda has done extremely well is feature listings, whether they be active or recent sales. She makes sure to include properties, because After all, we are here to sell homes, right? But what if you're a brand new agent like Melinda? What if you don't have listings or sales to feature? Lean on your colleagues. You work with a brokerage for a reason. As long as you're following guidelines and your MLS rules and regulations, ask them, hey, can I feature that beautiful new listing that you got over on Chestnut? I can almost guarantee you that they won't say no, because the more eyeballs that are on that listing of theirs, the more likely it is to sell at a faster rate. So you end up looking like you have listings and that you work with an incredible brokerage that has listings and does business. We are the market experts. We know what we're talking about. And here's the backup proof. The third thing that Melinda always includes in her newsletters is a call to action. Whether that be something as simple as contact me to learn more, or ask me a question. Do you have any burning real estate questions? There's always a call to action, and a call to action can be anything from a hyperlink within a body of a paragraph, or it might be a physical button that she's dropped into that newsletter that says, learn more about this property, whether it's off market or on market or something to that effect. And those calls to action, they can be a variety of different things: a text message that opens up to you, a phone call, a response to that email, connecting with someone on social. There are so many different calls to action that you can always think about in your email newsletters and marketing. And the fourth thing that Melinda always makes sure that she includes are her personal touches. One thing that I love about seeing Melinda's newsletters and hearing the success story is that you always know that it's Melinda's. She always includes her headshot. She always includes her social links, and she always includes her agent logo in her newsletters. She also always says, engage with me on social, and she makes one of her social channels a call out that is a little bit larger than the others. That's where she's most active. She wants to connect with people. What we do every day is about relationships, and sometimes we forget that. So, keeping in mind some of those tips and tricks that Melinda has done, I wanted to dive deeper into some other pro tips. One thing that lended itself to Melinda's success was that she's consistent. She's consistent with her cadence, her content, and her messaging. All three of those things might sound stressful to you. Nobody said a newsletter had to be weekly or bi-weekly or even monthly. Maybe you start quarterly and you do a quarterly update. Maybe you start simple with your content and your messaging. Your newsletters can evolve over time, and that's exactly what Melinda's has done as well. She also works to collect listings and sales across several different budgets and areas. So while she may have a niche area, that's not to say that that's the only area or budget that she can work in. She casts a wide spread so that any number of the recipients of her newsletter actually sees, hey, that's in my area. I'm curious to learn more about that property. Again, she also includes her agent logo, social links, and photo. People know Melinda. People trust Melinda. That's what she's trying to get across. She is a human. And with that, she wants them to recognize her name and her face and know that if they have a question about real estate or want to buy or sell, they call Melinda. And last, but certainly not least, is she does keep her newsletters digestible. They aren't too long and they aren't too short. Now, of course, your newsletters can evolve as time goes. One month, it might be a little bit heftier than another, whereas another month, it might be a little bit shorter and sweeter than another. Again, you want to make sure that the content that you're sending out to your audience is value added. They're going to want to read it. They're going to want to open it. They're going to want to click through and read more about it. So always keep that in mind as you build your newsletter and keeping these tips and tricks in the back of your mind. One of the email newsletters that Melinda sent, I found some of the insights to be really incredible, and I wanted to share them with you. Deliveries is the number of successful deliveries to a recipient's inbox. And 2,311 might sound like a lot of people. And she did have the benefit of having a large sphere of influence and database going into real estate. But quantity is good. Quality is even better. And your opens and clicks really speaks to the quality of the contacts. Melinda was able to accomplish a 44.66% open rate. That was 1,032 people that opened her email and saw that content. The industry average for real estate is only 35.38. That statistic speaks for itself, but then we look at the click-through rate. And a click-through tells me how many times someone clicked on a link, a video, a listing, anything included in that newsletter. Again, the industry average is only 2.23%. And Melinda was able to achieve a 5.33% click-through rate. That was 55 people that were clicking on listings, clicking on her calls to action, and clicking into her social channels. So always think about, let me look at these people, the people that are opening and clicking. Those are the people that are in your corner. Those are the people that you know you can reach out to, that you know, hey, I have a really strong relationship with this person. Maybe you didn't think you did, and now they're engaging with your content. That can be a client. That can be that transaction. Okay. So always keep that in mind. And quick question for you. What has stopped you from doing a newsletter, if anything? Again, did you not think your content was interesting enough? Did you think people wouldn't actually open and read it? Did you not want to annoy people? Or did you think it takes too much time, work, and you didn't have enough time? Now, if you're saying that you feel like it takes too much work and you don't have enough time, the incredible thing with Rechat specifically, shameless plug here, is that when you design it once, you can continue to go back to that same newsletter and just swap the content. It does make it extremely simple for you. And if you're saying that you don't want to annoy people, think about your cadence. We talked about content, we talked about cadence, and we talked about messaging. If you don't want to sound too salesy, don't sound too salesy. If you don't want to be too harassing where you get a restraining order filed against you, don't do it too frequently. You have control over that, and that's the beautiful thing. And if you think people won't actually open and read it, I challenge you. You might be surprised at just who wants to hear from you. And if you think your content isn't interesting enough, again, I challenge you. Think outside the box. Do you share market insights that tie into maybe home equity? Do you offer up preferred vendors or preferred partners? Do you include testimonials? Do you include referrals? You'd be amazed at what kind of content you can put together. We do have a series of exclusive invitation-only workshops that are dedicated specifically to you. If you are on this call, you are invited, and not a single other member from Rechat. On Tuesday, March 19th, we're going to be hosting a how-to, hands-on, step-by-step workshop for each one of the topics that we talked about today. In those, we're going to be tying into exactly how these members found success and how you can be the next success story too. And with that, I'd like to pass it over to my colleague, Paula, who's going to talk to you about a little incentive that we might have in our back pocket.
Hi, everyone. I'm Paula, and I work in communications at Rechat. And I am usually the lucky person who gets to speak to agents and hear your wonderful success stories. It's always exciting. I spoke to Melinda and Joe and Maryam, and it's just a wonderful opportunity for us to understand how you're using Rechat, how you're succeeding with Rechat. So with that, I will be coming for you. I will be coming for your success stories because I know you have them. I know everybody has done something interesting to market differently. Maybe that's your success story. Maybe it's something else. I want to hear about it. I have some Amazon gift cards burning a hole in my pocket. I want to reward you for your help. So if you receive an email from Paula at Rechat, it's just me asking you to share a few words, some thoughts, and I look forward to reaching out to you. Thanks, Thomas.
I love it. Thank you, Paula. No, I want to take a moment to thank you for joining us on today's roundtable. This was the magic of marketing, a real life roadmap for success by agents for agents. I truly hope that you have come out of this with some ideas, some thoughts. If you want to connect with anybody else on this call and share ideas, I encourage you to drop your information, maybe your social handles, into the chat at the bottom of your screen. And if you'd like to share one of your success stories, feel free. We invite you to do so. If you do have one that you'd like to share, drop into the chat and we'll go ahead and allow you to unmute yourself. And otherwise, thank you to each and every one of you for joining us today. Keep an eye out for the next roundtable. There will be an entirely new slew of content success stories. We'll be talking about new members just like yourselves and how they were able to make more money and save more time and really streamline and improve their business. We hope that you found this helpful and have an incredible day, and we will see you on the next one. We're going to hang out for a few minutes. So again, if you want to share any success stories, maybe you sent out an agent network email and you had incredible success with that. Maybe you found success in social posts. Maybe you found success with your tags. Share those. We would love to have them. We're going to hang out for a few minutes. If you don't want to share and you're pressed for time, thank you again for joining and have an incredible day. And also keep an eye out for your inbox for the invitation to Tuesday's workshops. I did just remove the restriction for unmutes. If anybody would like to unmute themselves, certainly feel free. We welcome it. We would love to hear from members just like yourself.
Thomas, I have a question for you. Part of when I was talking to Joe about his amazing chicken salad video clips success story, he said that it's one thing he loved about Rechat is that the hard work is really at the beginning, is getting all your contacts organized and your tags. And that once that's done, if you do it well, that you're really in good shape for using all the other tools in Rechat. Is that accurate?
It absolutely is. And, you know, Rechat works through tags and smart lists, and all of these stories really tied in together because without having his database and his social accounts connected, maybe Joe wouldn't have been able to share out to exactly who he wanted to in his database. And then getting those invitations and having them come to a broker's open. Same thing with Maryam, having people come in. And then following up via newsletters and including that video clip that he created in an email. Like there's so many ways that Rechat makes the agent's life and experience so much easier. So yes, definitely put in the work. It sounds stressful, but it's not. Rechat makes it very simple. And you'll be amazed at the level of simplicity that you find as you continue using Rechat.
One thing that Melinda brought up was that I noticed in her first email in her newsletter, she used brokerage information. The brokerage had won an award or had somebody on a reality series. And so you were talking about content. I thought that's another great way. If you're looking for content, you know, what has your brokerage accomplished recently? Is there something you can highlight? If you personally, for example, don't have a testimonial yet, maybe your brokerage just got a new one.
Absolutely. I have seen members use brokerage awards and brokerage statistics and brokerage market share as well as brokerage Google reviews and special programs. If your brokerage, like mine, has something called Haze, it's Hearthside at your side, and it helps members and the general public. Like we give back to the community. We raise money. We do food drives. We do these things. We also have programs for first responders, and all of these things can be content that you share. So 1000%, if you don't have it, it is okay. Lean on your brokerage and lean on the successes of others.
Now, when I do a workshop with you or Kayla, will I learn how to put the content into the newsletter template? Is that something I'll learn hands-on in a workshop?
Absolutely. Every one of our workshops is designed so that the member walks out knowing exactly how to execute what we're talking about. So if you join us for a newsletters workshop, you'll learn what every building block on the right-hand side of your screen will do. You'll learn how to include content, include videos. You'll learn how to drop listings in and search for them. If you do a video clips class, you'll learn exactly how to shoot those videos, store them, share them, and use them even in a newsletter session. So absolutely, our goal is to make you more money. And I know myself, Kayla, Patty, Miles, Paula, we all love helping members, and that's really our goal. So hope to see you on one of our upcoming workshops, whether it be Tuesday or any other day.
I'd like to jump in for 1 second. I want to put Delia on the spot, and I hope I pronounced your name correctly. You had said in the chat that you've had really great success with your postcards, with your thank you, or with your buyer congrats postcards through Rechat. I would love to hear more, or hear how you went about it, or what that success looked like for you. Did it bring another client your way?
Well, the very first time that I started with Rechat, I just happened to be closing on these two, but with these two buyers, and I said, "Oh, I'm gonna try that out." So I tried it. I sent them a postcard, an email postcard, and they just love it because I created with their picture. I took their picture on, and they just love it, and that's what I've been communicating. So doing the open houses, I had a really great success too. Just having the people, they did not hesitate into getting their information at my laptop. That was really neat. Compared to other times when you cannot make them give you their name. So, anyways, I think I dropped the ball there because I did not follow up. But now that I'm hearing this, I will follow up, and I will keep up, but I haven't tried it on my list. So yeah, so hopefully, I can do a little bit more with all the information that you provided. It was very helpful, especially Joe's. I don't like to do videos, but I'll just try not to show my picture.
That's
But
great.
that's
a great
what
thing
I have
about Joe's
done.
video. Yeah, he didn't have to put himself right on it, but
Right.
he was able to capture what he wanted and get people's attention and bring them in. So
Yes.
I think that's a great example of something you can try.
Yeah, so I will do that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you so much for sharing that incredible success story. We love hearing from members like yourself. I think that it is incredible being able to network with other professionals and really have new ideas and get excited about what we do. Sometimes we get so wrapped up in the day-to-day that we forget to be creative and that we are human, and people like to see the human side of us. So,
Well, thank you.
thank you. All right. Thank you all so much for joining us. I hope that you have an incredible rest of your day. We can't wait to bring the next roundtable to you, and we will see you on the next one. Bye, everyone.
Bye.